To solve the fracking issue isn't as simple as just banning it entirely. Fracking has made its mark on the economy to the point that taking it away would leave a gap that can't be filled yet. However, just because of the mark on the economy doesn't mean it should stay. The dangers that come with it can range from environmental contamination to public health. This can come from human error during the process, or it can be an uncontrollable factor. So with these dangers in mind, this method should be replaced with something better further down the line. We should replace it with a healthier and more productive alternatives, but should be done carefully and slowly instead of just outright replacing it. To better understand fracking, it's good to know how it works. With the article Fracking, explained by Brad Plumer, placed in 6 steps. The first step involves drilling a hole or wellbore to a gas-rich shale deposit. Once it reaches the well, it is lined with a steel casing to help prevent contamination of nearby water sources. Later, the drill will start creating a space across the deposit for explosives to be placed. These will create small holes for the fracking mixture to flow down and crack it open and stay open. The mixture forces the trapped natural gases and oils to flow out and through the opening of the well. Once the resource is obtained, they can be shipped to consumers via pipelines, and normally a well can last 20 to 40 years. Now, it can be explained quite simply, but doesn't mean it is. If the trapped resource is a natural gas, the main component of it is methane, which is 25 times more harmful than carbon dioxide. Now, to make the process successful, a single well would need about 8 million gallons of water and 40,000 gallons of chemicals. After the frac is finished, all that water is contaminated and deadly to people. Despite the casing, the water can still find its way to underground cracks and into water sources that may be important to the area. With possible air and water pollution, people who live near the site have gotten sick and in some cases even lit their tap water on fire. Sadly, using the term people getting sick is an understatement. Researchers found that 75% of the chemicals used in the food can cause issues with the person's skin, eyes, sensory organs, along with their respiratory and digestive systems. Others found that 40 to 50% could affect the brain, nervous, immune, and other systems linked to the heart and blood. 37% found that it could affect the endocrine system, like hormones, and anything else that goes directly into the blood, while 25% could cause cancer and mutations. So with all these dangers, you think it'll be easy to make the decision to ban fracking? Well, there would be a big consequence in the economy if it's just banned without another solution to replace it. In November 2013, the U.S. was producing 7.8 million barrels of crude oil, along with a gas production of 24 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. With this, factories in the U.S. have been able to use the gases and convert them into ethylene, a key ingredient used for the production of plastic and antifreeze. Luckily, oil and gas companies weren't the only ones profiting from fracking. The countries where fracking occurred were able to enjoy an economic benefit where there is a $66,000 wage increase, along with 0.78 jobs in the area. Fracking has also caused a decrease in the U.S. price for natural gas since the abundance that is generated, although crude oil is still quite expensive to global demand. The question though is, what could replace fracking? Well, one argument the supporters make is that it's green, so if we want to stay green, then we should use renewable means. A clear and popular method of renewable resources are wind and solar. With solar, there's usually 3 types: residential, where panels are installed either on the roof or an open area and generate between 5 to 20 kilowatts, based on the size of the home. Commercial, solar usually installed at a larger size to provide a reliable source for businesses. And finally, utility solar tend to be several megawatt installations that provide energy to a large number of customers. What makes this method better is that the price has been decreasing. The price has fallen by 60% since the last decade, and experts still predict that this decrease will continue. Solar costs aren't the only prices to fall. Wind power has also been experiencing this due to a 75% increase to both onshore and offshore installments in the past 2 decades. This has increased the amount of energy generated, has doubled between 2009 and 2013, while in 2016, wind energy has accounted for 16% of energy generated by renewables. And normally the best spots for wind turbines are remote areas. So if we can build a large enough wind farm in areas like those, we could in theory replace more harmful methods like fracking. Overall, fracking is a complicated matter. Fracking does help the economy in terms of jobs and national profit, but the dangers outweigh them. Though some parts of it is natural, there's elements that give significant dangers to both people and the environment. Luckily, there are alternatives like solar and wind that are growing every day.